I'm going to be testing out this Siegle knife here, and I'm going to do a bunch of slicing and chopping both, and eventually make a bow drill fire using it to show how finesseful it is. These are big cottonwood trees right here, and I like to get the bark from them, and I found some I found a little rat's nest kind of up in the cottonwood there. Bunch of fibers, and they're really fine, so I use that partly for my nest for the bow drill. Found it right up in here. A lot of pack rats around this area, so taking advantage of it. I'm collecting some sage here. Getting some bark too off of it, but got a piece here that I want to use as the base, the hearth board. So I'm using the chopper. This is really tough stuff. Realize it's dead, and takes a little bit more work. It's not nice and live and easy to cut. It looks like this is doing a good job. I'll use this piece here for a baseboard or a hearth board and cut this off here. So it's got some good chopping ability. I've used it already actually for some shavings, and it works really well for that as well. But stay tuned and we'll get a set made up with this big honkin' Siegle knife. Okay, I'm going to show you its shaving ability anyway. Here, I got this old dead piece of cottonwood, and what I really like about it is the weight of the knife carries it down. So you pretty much just use it. You don't have to press very hard, and you get some beautiful curls. And that's just a piece of cottonwood that I got down further there, and nothing special, nothing prepared ahead of time. So you can see that it makes great curls, and they're nice and thin, and really nice stuff. So really thin. Anyway, good piece of wood to play around with. Cottonwood is a softer wood. You can also show how you can split it to get your firewood going. I realize this is pretty gnarly stuff, so I'm not going to get top of the line looking pieces, but for a big knife, it does really delicate chores really well. Like this fine pencil lead size stick I'm getting here. Some big knives are just too thick, and you get nice small stuff with it this way. And it's big enough as all you got to do is twist it a little bit, and you'll get tinier pieces from it. Here's a nice straight piece. Yeah, so you get the nice pencil lead size there, or finger size, whatever the case may be. This grain in this stuff isn't very good, but anyway, it makes a great chopper, slicer. For the thickness, the grind is just gorgeous. Use this part of the grind to do your curls, and just let the weight just take it down. And this piece is a little bit too flexible, but get some nice curls this way, feather sticks, etc. And and you don't have to work at it. It's the neat part. And I really enjoy using this. For a big knife, it does a lot of delicate chores, and that's what I really ask of a big knife. It has a great handle. You can back it up right here to do chopping, move it forward here to do your close-up work more, or just wherever you want it. It feels really good. So we'll keep making a bow drill set. So what I like about a bigger tip knife too is making a divot for your set. You can just twist it and get a divot started. I have a little gnarly spindle I made up, and I'll burn it in, and then I'll cut a notch with this, and I'll show you all that. Get it burnt in here. Sage is one of my go-to items in the desert, just because it is so reliable. But to make my divot now, I should be doing it on a stump or something. I'll get it started here. Anyway, you can see that it does nice cutting chores too. This sage is really hard wood, and you wouldn't think it'd make a good bow drill, but it does. I did try one earlier here on this piece and didn't get it, so we're going for a second hole. There, I just gotta go a little bit further, and we'll have our V in the hearthboard. I'm doing this out in the hot, right in the sand, because of fire danger. I don't want to really start a fire or anything like that. There we go. I don't know if you can see it that well, but got my burn in and a V, and I'll use this piece of bark here from the juniper to land the ember in. I did poke myself with a knife right here in the edge as I was playing with it, so you do have to be careful with it, as all knives. I'm going to round off the end a little bit here of this spindle so that takes off all the shiny part. Well, I'll get my nest ready and get everything ready, and then I'll turn it back on. So I got a better tinder bundle now, and I'll try to make a little bit bigger coal as well. Okay, I know this is a lot of bow drill stuff, not a whole lot on showing the knife at times, but if you can make a bow drill set with a big knife, then it's delicate enough to do the small chores. Sorry, but I got a piece of punkwood here. Put on this to extend it a little bit too. Always have some in my kit in case I have a questionable ember, like this stuff kind of. But let that grow a little bit and catch on to the punkwood. You can really tell this is sage by the wavy lines and kind of the brown and white together, and it smells really bad when you do a bow drill. So we'll let that grow a little bit. I got my watering shovel ready here. Looks like the wind's changing a little bit. Not to my benefit either. And we got the punkwood on fire. There we go. There we got some flame. Nice. What I do, I keep this stuff for further nesting. I'm not going to put any water on it directly. I'm going to put it on the ground. But stuff that's worked before, you might as well use it again. Boy, that's hot. Covered up with sand there. Anyway, that's a bow drill set. I'm getting my knife all dirty. Second hole, second time was a success. Piece of juniper for the, I can't think today, the bow, and paracord, of course, for the and then another piece of sage for the spindle. Pieces of sage for this are really hard to get pieces. So they're so bent, you can see right there, and gnarly that it's hard to get a nice smooth piece out. And then I brought my own bearing block with me, but mainly it's to show off the knife, of course. But to make a bow drill set, if you can make it with a big hunk like this, you should be able to do most anything. You can make such really nice curls with it. It's incredible. Just using the weight of the knife and pretty much down by the handle. Make a feather stick on my hearthboard. Yeah, I don't even have to push in hardly. It's just a great knife. I should do a cutting test. I'll see if I can find a piece of paper and show that it cuts really well still after chopping, getting this chopped out, which is quite a bit because you have to split it down. I'm sorry I didn't show that, but did those two and got the limbs, no big deal, off the juniper. But maybe I'll show some more with it here in a second. Anyway, I will show you how sharp it is still. Well, I haven't shown enough of the chopping ability. I know the sunlight's in the back, and so you're not going to be able to see this too well. But this is about 1.5 inches piece of dead wood here from this juniper. And let me take it up to the stump and I'll process a little bit more of it. I just stabbed it in. And then this pretty yucky stuff here. This is juniper, don't forget, and not the sage that I got a while ago. Same thing though, juniper is pretty hard wood as well. That cuts really nice. So I can make a set out of that after I clean it up here a little bit. There. Yeah, it's a little bit harder wood than the old juniper. The bass is good enough to get a notch formed. But the wood cuts, the knife cuts really well. I already showed you how it shaves. I haven't shown you too much on the chopping ability. But if you look juniper up in the desert around here, you'll know that it's fairly hard wood. Has some pretty gnarly knots in it. But that'll make a beautiful hearthboard right there. Let me get the hole started right over here a little bit further where I started it. I'd make my end of my spindle a little more pointed. And you have it. Let me get a piece of paper. I'll be right back. Show you how well it cuts here. Look how fine it cuts. Now if you were to look at this close, you'd see little hair pieces if the knife wasn't extremely sharp, and I don't see any. It's just really nice. And I'm not even holding the paper that stiff, and it cuts it. So I don't know much more you can say about the Siegle knife, but I really love it, and it's a great knife for in the desert, in the mountains, and chopping, showing you the fine stuff, making curls. 5160, about a 12-inch blade, 1/4 inch thickness, and about a 5-inch handle. So you got about a 17-inch total there. 15 to 17 anyway. Anyway, that's the Bill Siegle chopper. So I forgot that, I use the end quite a bit just to show you how easy it goes into the paper. The end is really sharp still. Hardly any pressure at all. And so the tip is still not harmed. It's very sharp, even going into this hard piece of juniper. This wood is so hard. Having a chopper make a spindle is so much nicer than having to try to cut everything. Sometimes I'll use an axe to get one narrowed down the way I want it, but no need with the chopper. and making your point is so nice as well. And you can see this sage is really gnarly stuff, but round out the corners here. Make it pretty symmetrical. A little bit in the middle you gotta cut off. No sweat. Love it. So a big chopper can do fine chores like this, and actually it really works well doing fine chores because you need it to chop at times, and maybe your belt knife isn't quite good enough for chopping, whereas this one will. Now I got it the shape of thickness of the spindle I want. Got a knot right on the end of this spindle, so use it for the point that goes into the bearing block. There, nice spindle with a big chopper. I wanted to show this. I didn't show it in the making. I get all excited making a set and I forget to record it. But this is another piece of sage, just like the other one I had. But nice rounded spindle using the big chopper. Here are a couple more sharpness tests I thought I'd show you. We've done this in the cutting competitions where you just put this on a little bit and then make 3 cuts. And that kind of shows the sharpness of your knife as well. I'm not doing a very good job, but that shows it. And then I forgot to show the cutting of this quite as good as I should have for curls. It really cuts fast and nice. Like I said before, the weight of the knife does it. That's a good one. Nice thick curls and thin, thin curls but wide too. And then another possible one would be a rope cutting type of chop, where it cuts it right away like that. It gives you the idea that it's a good chopper as well. And you could do other types of cutting, but you get the idea. Good type of knife that you can use for all kinds of different chores. Not just a knife that, I'm looking for my tape measure here, not just a knife where you can chop with, but also one, sorry about that, that you can also do fine work. From the tip down, it's 9.5, and it has a 5.5-inch handle. So it's overall, add those two together and you get about 14 3/4 for the total length of the knife. Thank you.